The Roman Empire did not emerge by accident, and it did not survive for centuries through brute force alone. Behind Rome's vast reach was a carefully developed blueprint for power, one that combined military strength, political structure, cultural flexibility, and psychological control. Rome did not just conquer territory, it built a system designed to hold it. At the heart of Rome's approach was organization. From its earliest days, Rome understood that chaos was the enemy of power. Laws were written down, authority was divided and defined. Even when those systems were abused or bent, the idea that power should follow structure remained deeply Roman. This mindset shaped everything from government to warfare. Rome's military was not simply a fighting force, it was a social institution. Roman soldiers were trained not just to fight, but to build, organize, and obey. Discipline was relentless. Individual bravery mattered less than collective order. Soldiers marched in formation, built camps every night, and followed commands without hesitation. This made Roman armies predictable in the best possible way. They could function under stress when others collapsed. But Rome's true genius was not just in how it fought, but in how it ruled after victory. Conquest was only the beginning. Once a region was subdued, Rome moved quickly to establish control through administration. Roads were built to move troops and goods efficiently. Forts secured borders. Cities were reorganized to reflect Roman order. Infrastructure was power made visible. Roman law played a crucial role. Instead of ruling solely through fear, Rome offered legal systems that provided consistency. Contracts, property rights, and courts created a sense of stability. Even people who resented Roman rule often preferred Roman law to uncertainty or local conflict. This legal framework encouraged cooperation and reduced the need for constant violence. Citizenship was another powerful tool. Rome expanded citizenship gradually, using it as both reward and incentive. Communities that cooperated could gain rights and privileges. Former enemies could become Romans in legal status, if not always in culture. This blurred the line between conqueror and conquered, creating loyalty that extended beyond force. Rome's culture followed power. Roman language, architecture, religion, and customs spread throughout the empire. This was not always imposed violently. Local elites were encouraged to adopt Roman ways in exchange for status and opportunity. Amphitheaters, baths, and temples became symbols of belonging. To live like a Roman was to share in the empire's identity. Rome also mastered the psychology of dominance. It understood spectacle. Triumphs celebrated military victories in grand processions. Public buildings displayed wealth and order. Punishments were often public and severe, designed to discourage rebellion. Peace, in Roman terms, was not gentle, it was controlled. At the same time, Rome was pragmatic. It tolerated local customs and religions as long as they did not threaten imperial authority. This flexibility reduced resistance. Rome did not demand cultural purity, it demanded loyalty. As long as taxes were paid and laws followed, many communities were allowed to remain largely themselves. Economic integration strengthened this system. Trade networks connected distant provinces. Grain from Egypt fed Rome. Silver from Spain funded armies. Goods moved along Roman roads and sea routes. This economic interdependence made rebellion risky. Provinces depended on Rome, and Rome depended on them. Yet Rome's blueprint was not flawless. Expansion required constant resources. Maintaining order across vast distances was costly. Corruption flourished. Power became centralized. The military grew politically influential. Over time, the balance that sustained the empire began to strain. Still, the blueprint endured. Even as emperors changed and borders shifted, the core principles remained. Organization over chaos, law over impulse, inclusion backed by force, flexibility without surrendering control. The Roman Empire eventually declined, but its blueprint did not disappear. Later empires studied Rome carefully. Roads, laws, administrative systems, and even imperial symbolism were copied for centuries. Rome became a model for how power could be built, maintained, and justified. Understanding Rome's blueprint helps explain why it dominated the ancient world for so long. Rome did not rely on strength alone. It relied on systems. It made conquest sustainable. It turned power into routine. And that may be Rome's most lasting legacy. Not its battles or emperors, but the idea that empire is not just about taking land. It is about building structures that make domination feel normal, inevitable, and even beneficial to those living under it.